Sunday, December 31st, the Winter Solstice. Sunrise is upon us, and so I'm going to take more or less the same walk I did a few weeks ago. This time, I'm using a chest harness I have with the camera. Leaves my hands free. I have my gloves on this time. It's about 25 out. You can see some snow is still around. Yeah, there's the parking lot. But we had some warm spell in the last week after we had that 2 weeks of snow. We had 2 Saturdays in a row that we got, 5+ inches. And then we got a little above freezing temperatures and some sunshine, so stuff kind of went away. I had a couple days where it was 0, roughly 10 degrees out. It was kind of cold. So I'm happy to say that I am out here for the winter solstice. Kind of a tradition with me now. What is the winter solstice? Well, it is the longest night, shortest day of the year in the northern hemisphere, essentially. Right? Like sunrise here in the Midwest today is supposed to be about 7:15 a.m. And according to my watch, it's 7:09 right now. And sunset will be 4-ish. I looked it up exactly, but yeah. But then, starting tomorrow, every day will be slightly longer, a minute, 30 seconds, whatever, as we creep back toward. Oh, that's a beautiful bird. I hope I caught that. Red head, kind of a bluish back, white belly. Woodpecker? Maybe. Anyway, before we had fancy science and such, I should say that the solstice probably doesn't affect people as much as it did hundreds, thousands of years ago, because we can turn on a light switch at home, work, whatever. It doesn't do anything. But it was a day in many traditions of celebration. For this was the day you want to ward off the evilness of the night, darkness, because the longest night was last night of the year, and then you kind of, start celebrating the return of the sun, which is, hundreds, thousands of years ago. We relied more on an individual basis. Nowadays, we do rely on it, and we just don't necessarily do it on a so personal of a basis. But so I tend to subscribe to the Scandinavian traditions of this, so we tend to be doing this for a couple of years now, as we feast all day. Well, Yule/winter solstice. The agenda this morning is some skyr and apples, which I'll have for breakfast when I get back. Sometime around lunch, I have a recipe that I've used before of Icelandic rye cakes. And we have some tinned fish that we'll be using on them from Norway and such. I can't recall exactly. I got 3 different kinds. There might be smoked trout, some stuff like that. For this evening, late afternoon, the main feast, honor our ancestors, my wife, there will be some mashed potatoes. But I have a boar roast. No, I'm not a hunter, but I do like game meat. But so, boar roast. I have some parsnip that's also going to go in with the mashed potatoes. I'm going to say in with the potatoes to be mashed. Also will be, I have some cabbage we grew a while back that we've frozen a wedge of. So I will have that and tend to cook that in some bacon grease. I know cabbage doesn't throw a lot of people, but a little cabbage, a little bacon grease that fries in it kind of really does a good job of adding some salt and flavor to it. I think we're also going to have some Brussels sprouts. I'd say the roast is going to have some fresh oregano, thyme. So I'm going to take a look around. I'm going to make some Swedish pancakes, a recipe for that, and lingonberry jam will be our kind of dessert. Something. Yeah. Might also make some whipped cream to go on the Swedish pancakes rather than just the lingonberry jam, but that's pretty much it. And then, we had to make sure that we had clothing, new clothing for Yule. Icelandic tradition of the Yule cat, or big cat people, is for kids. The legend is you had to do your chores so that you were given a piece of clothing for Yule, whether it was socks, hat, shirt, gloves, something. So you had to be given one of those for Yule. And then the Yule cat would come by, which, by the way, the Yule cat is the size of a house, would come by, and if he saw that you had new clothes, he'd leave you alone. If you didn't have new clothes, he'd eat you. So we like to try to avoid being eaten. So I was given a hat this week at my work, the new office. The building people gave out hats, so I now have this lovely North Face hat. So I was given that, and it's been a tradition for, at least 20 years. I want to say I give my wife socks every year for Christmas. That seems silly, but she worked retail for many years and walked in this winter weather, so I always went and got her warm wool socks or cozy cabin socks to wear around the house at this time of year. So yeah, this is a totally tradition we keep going. So we avoided the Yule cat, and we're going to feast today. The other thing is, one of the other Scandinavian traditions is it's a day of, basically, you should have a book, and you're supposed to read a book. So that will definitely be on the agenda today. My wife is never without a book. I got a couple from the library. I am good to go. So yeah, it's feasting. We'll put the TV on, but it'll probably go on. We tend to put it on YouTube, and actually there's like fireplaces. We don't have our own legit fireplace, so we will probably have a lovely fireplace scene whenever we go on, with the crackling and all that stuff, while we just sit around and read and eat today in coziness. We are going to have to make one stop at some point today. I think we're going to go to the liquor store and pick up some Glühwein, like hot mulled winey kind of feel, which will also go great with the pork. I'm sorry, the boar. yeah, so that is how we celebrate the solstice. I just very much have gotten into this due to the weather. Probably not going to be a ton of people out here today, maybe a jogger, but with this trail, as you can see with the ice, I kind of don't feel there'll be a lot of that, but you never know. It's also early, it's a Sunday. If you don't know, I'm in the Chicagoland area, and we had a late football game last night with our heated rivals, the Green Bay Packers. Actual game meant something. Both winning teams, probably going to the playoffs. And the Bears pulled out an improbable comeback win. Yeah, look that up in the news. You'll see it. I'm not gonna retell it here, but wow. But yeah, not seeing much in the way of deer. I saw one. I kind of go farther north past here when I go into my new office. And I saw a little baby doe not too far from here. She's a little, but probably a teenager at this point, kind of doe. Not that I'm good enough to know that kind of thing, but yeah, that is. So I've seen that one. But a couple years ago, on a day like this, I got a little darker before it lit up, and I'd say, from here to that little tree right there you see, about a couple of deer just went up. They asked me if I had food. I really wish I'd have brought carrots or lettuce that day. But, yeah. My fingertips are a little cold. There's some nice gloves, but man, it is a little nippier out here than I would have thought today. Video trick. Oh, that helps. Yeah. I saw, when I pulled in, I saw people at the parking lot on the other side of the road, or under the bridge, if I go that way. If you watched my previous video, I did not, but you should know what I'm talking about. So yeah, ground is very hard, so you can definitely tell it got cold. Thought I heard geese. Saw some yesterday. Yeah, if we heard the honking. Yeah, I saw a bunch of them making a late flight south. A big V formation in the sky. It's always kind of fun. I hear one. See if there's any on the river here. I didn't see ice out there. That's pretty, a lot colder than I thought it was then. There it is. Hope you guys can see that. Just chilling down the river. Yeah. All by himself. Hope everything's okay. I'm worried that it lost its flock. Got separated somehow. it's calling out for, most likely. Oh, I hear more. Oh, here they come. There they go. Hope you guys will see this. Kind of heartwarming. Thought that poor one was almost by itself, but there they come. Yeah. Okay. That's better. Aren't lost. He slowed down and stopped calling. I think it's a he out front. Could be she. I don't know how to tell the difference between male and female geese when they're in the water, or out of the water for that matter. But yeah. Alright, that was nice and heartwarming. The would be floodplains over there, that I think I've talked about before. It is peaceful out today. I think the last time I did this, it was a little warmer and there were some people out, you know. But like I said, a lot of people were out last night, or staying up late. The game didn't get over till almost 11. Excuse me. So, and, you know, today's Sunday, Christmas is Thursday. So, people are, a lot of gatherings, family gatherings, possible vacation time, going to town. Kids are out of school now, probably Friday was their last day for school, Christmas break, I'm guessing. Kind of far removed to know that specifically, but there you go. Yeah. I am kind of surprised at how much the river's trying to ice over. I didn't feel it was quite that cold out, but the last couple of days, but I guess so. So I think my plan is to try to go back up like I did the last time. And I think I may have mentioned Old Man Tree. If not, I can't say with any certainty that I think it's the biggest, oldest tree in this little section of woods, but it feels that way to me. It's definitely kind of off the path, doesn't see a lot of people normally, so I kind of enjoy going by and kind of saying hi. And what better day to do that than the solstice, hoping for, you know, spring to come back. One of the other traditions from Scandinavia too is to kind of maybe have had a fire running all day long. Kind of goes back to the fireplace pit I was talking about. But we also have, I bought turf fire candle. I think it's a 24-hour wick. We won't do that because neither of us will stay up over all night, 24 hours. And you can't leave the candle burning while you're asleep. That would be ill-advised. More geese, kind of snoozing. But yeah, we'll probably have that lit. Kind of also throws to our Irish heritage to have the site turf smell. We had some of the incense from the same place I got the candle. Definitely you could smell that. Very earthy. So the best of my knowledge that we've been able to find is my Irish background leads to possibly, probably County Longford, which is kind of known for peat farming in Central Ireland. So it's one of the landlocked counties. That's the closest as we got. Now my wife's family is from County Kerry on her father's side, and Roscommon on her mother's side. Yeah, County Kerry, one of the more beautiful of the Irish counties. Oh, I don't know if you can see this. There's definitely a big chunk of ice right there. Yeah, right up on the shore. A lot of robins out, that's nice. Alright. But yeah, so we tend to blend our, I tend to blend the winter solstice and Scandinavian belief system and blend it with Irish ancestry. At least Irish ancestors. Yeah. Or how it's all about modern interpretation. And there's like at least two different views on modern belief of the Scandinavian Nordic gods or faith. Very little written that can be easily interpreted by today's people. I mean, Rosetta, Rosetta and the blanking on it, but Snorri Sturluson. And the problem isn't going this way now. The problem is that he's writing in the 11th century about stuff that was a couple, 300 years before him, based on stuff that he learned, stories told to him. So, yeah, that kind of always leads a lot to be interpreted. And of course, a lot of squishing. In today's world, too, you gotta be careful because there's way too many people that found all the robins. There's a big push to have the Nordic belief system kind of hand in hand with Nazism, fascism, racism. None of that's historically based. But there you go. So anybody who doesn't do any light research into it will just assume anybody who's doing Nordic beliefs is a racist. As an old white man, I have to be even more careful because that's like prime, right? And I have white hair, white beard, very much Kris Kringle Santa Claus look right these days. Maybe not quite that much beard, but there. So yeah, a lot of that. But the truth is, they believed in multiple gods instead of one god. And you prayed to whoever you needed help from at the time. And really, in today's world, I kind of rather believe in that than the natural, what some people call themselves Christian. They seem to be the ones who are racist, especially in America. So, yeah, a little more political than I like to get on a video. I'd rather do that face to face with people talking. But yeah, just decided to go this route for a little more funsies, a little exercise for me to creep up and over trees. Honestly, I was kind of hoping to see some deer, but no luck yet. When I get back up there, old man trees like over in that area, and I'll get to them. I do have an offering. Last night I made barley and steak for myself while I was watching the Bears game, so I have a little bit of that left. So I tend to leave out. I thank the gods and the spirits of the land for all they've taught me, continue to teach me, and hopefully will teach me in the future. I might actually ask for winning lottery for the Powerball right now. It's over $1 billion. That would be kind of nice. But hey, it is beautiful coming up this way and just seeing the little ice trail goes around like that, and then the field. That's fantastic. If you've been watching this video, hopefully you'll put a like on it. Feel free to comment. I would love to have discourse with anybody. Maybe make friends. I know that's a bit much, but hey. I feel like I'm in a painting on the way this ice trail. You know? My wife would be definitely afraid she's gonna fall. So she'd be happy not to be, although she'd like to take a walk with me. Sure, she would not be too thrilled by this. Although it's on either side, it's fine. It's a little cold, like I said, but excuse me, cold weather. I'm looking forward to my coffee, skyr, and apple when I get home at this point. Yeah, I'm not sure the coffee is technically Scandinavian, ancient Scandinavian, better way to put it, but you know, they were traders when they weren't taking things, the Vikings, so could have had tea, I suppose, and that will probably be in the future sometime this afternoon, but yeah. Anyway, I think last video I did this walk, I went to the parking lot and kind of stopped the video right in that area. This time I'm going left to go down. Hopefully I can find the trail for Old Man Tree. Again, that's not trademarked, but that's just what I call him. I'm surprised nobody's out when they're Look for the dogs this morning. You know? Yeah. You hear the, I don't know if the mic will pick it up, but you hear the crunch of the grass because it's a little frozen. So somewhere right over in that area where you kind of see the sun starting to hit the top of the trees is a little trail that goes down a little bit. Just down a little hill, and that's when I find old man tree. Oh. I always have a slight fear when I haven't seen old man tree in a while that something happened and they cut him down, or he didn't look like he's frail and was about to fall over, but you never can tell. So yeah, I have that little bit of a paranoia about that. I don't even know where I'm going because it's usually pretty parallel to that structure. Alright. Here's a little known trail. Now, earlier I was walking on the other side of Wallace, over there by where the river is. But that, beautiful, right there, is what I refer to as Old Man Tree. I think you can understand why. It's majestic. Again, I don't know if he's the oldest tree in these parts of the woods, but I like to believe so. I guess that's bark, but that's a little bit fur for a second. Kind of freaked me out.